It's time to talk to Jon-Christopher from Real Political News. JCB, hello to you.
Hello, Clive. It's rather nasty weather here. I feel like it's, I don't know, Thanksgiving is coming in a few days. Hopefully we have something to be thankful about.
Well, it's not very nice here either. We've got Storm Bertie coming through, and it's bringing gale force winds and snow. It's, yes, pretty fierce here as well, so we've got that to share with you. How are you feeling? I haven't spoken to you since the election result, so I'm wondering whether you're feeling what are your conclusions? Were you expecting that?
I think of Yeats, you know, the sailing to Byzantium, I think, or one of those poems, the beautifully put in the feeling of the center cannot hold, and Tulsi Gabbard is on the watch list. We have one of Trump's cronies who was the author of his Project 2025, who he's putting in charge of the Office of Management and Budget. I mean, I work in the federal government. These are real agencies, Clive. They need to be run by real people. Not that I was a communications director, but we knew how to run an agency. And to put this fellow, Peter Hegseth, in charge of the Defense Department, billions of dollars, and our relationships with our NATO colleagues and our Five Eyes colleagues across the world is in jeopardy. It is crazy. And what Trump has done, he used everybody that he thinks he can trust. Now, we all know what happened to Matt Gaetz. He had a couple of issues, so he got out of it really quick. And Trump is really walking a tightrope here, and he has to be looking to his Republican Party. I say his. It was his. Who knows what it is anymore? We flipped the switch. I was listening to John Lennon earlier, the working class hero, and boy, I recommend it to all your listeners. Listen to John Lennon talking about the working class hero. Who is he now? I mean, how is he respected? How are the Democrats, how are the Republicans differed? And what are their passions, and what do they care about the American people? And it's going on in Great Britain as well. I'm following that.
So what do you think of the chances of this team? I mean, some of them, as you say, are pretty out there as nominations that Trump has chosen. Are they all going to end up in those positions? How does it work in that way? Are they guaranteed the job?
No, no one's Look, Clive, you know this as well as I do. We watched Joe Biden together, and that was the beginning of it all, those debates. What Trump is doing, he's putting a finger in the eye of all the people who've ever come up against him and spoke against him. And he's saying, there's another term we could use, has to do with one of the fingers in the hand, and he's giving us that sign. He's flipping us off, as you would say, we would say, and he's saying, you don't like it? Tough. But the fact is that with this Gaetz nomination, he's got to realize, no matter how arrogant he is, and how he says, I'm going ahead with this, I'm going to get somebody else to fill it, he is being damaged, and he cannot go against everyone. And his Republicans, the rock-ribbed Republicans, the Eisenhower, the George H.W. Bush, and the Reagan Republicans, and even Richard Nixon, for God's sake. Dick Nixon's looking pretty good. I mean, we have a president-elect, soon to be president in less than 2 months, who is having to go and defend these groups of people who are basically his cronies, his disciples, and the fact is, they're not ready for prime time. They're not competent, and they have major flaws in terms of their background and their integrity and their character, and that's all coming out. And Trump he's going to just keep plodding on, because that's what he does. That's what he does.
And it's a sort of a protest, I guess. It is a sort of two fingers or one finger in the US to
choose your finger.
Yeah, exactly. To the establishment, to everything that Washington represents. He is sort of making a statement there, isn't he? And he's trying to wind up people like you.
Well, he's winding up people like me. He's winding up a lot of people, and I'm afraid our allies, Great Britain, France, Italy, I mean, Germany, we're at a crisis now. I mean, look what's going on in Ukraine, and where we're going to leave this issue. and you've got your prime minister, and we've got our present president, who's in there for another couple of weeks, and we're leaving this country up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen, and we have. If you look at each individual, Trump wanted to do away with their FBI clearances. I mean, that's unheard of. But that's what he wants to do because he wants to control. He said he will be dictator on day one. And I'm not being overwhelmingly crazy here. These are facts, Clive. You can just listen to what's going on. And he plans to have a special counsel, to fire a special counsel. You know, that Jack Smith, he wants to fire him, fire that one, have no more federal government. And what is this? It's just going to fall apart. And guess who's laughing and who's thrilled? The guy in St. Petersburg and Moscow, Vladimir Putin, who's even now saying, I'm testing intercontinental ballistic missiles, and the hell with all of you. Excuse my language.
And just tell me a little bit about the Democrats as well, who, it all went wrong. It's a major rethink, presumably now, or do you think it's going to be business as usual? Do they go back to the drawing board? What would you advise them to do?
Well, you know, I've been involved with the Democratic Party since for many years, and I was involved with the Clinton campaigns in '92 and got very involved with the Democratic Party back then. They need to understand that they are not appealing to the people that Trump has taken, and I call the working class hero. Trump is pretending he's the working class hero. I mean, it's absurd when you think about what we've done in this country and what FDR has done and what Kennedy and Clinton have done. And the fact is that he's trying to take off with it, and the Democrats, unfortunately,
and he succeeded.
And he has succeeded.
So the Democrats are doing something very wrong.
The Democrats had a very difficult thing. Like in comedy, politics is all about timing. You know, we had a president who was Joe Biden, a very decent man, and you saw those debates, and we saw the fact that he wasn't ready to continue, and he knew enough, and he was selfless enough to say, you know what, I'm stepping down. But the fact is that he stepped down with about 100 days left, and he gave it to a very smart, very promising young woman. The fact is that she was not quite ready for this. She did not have the strength that the party had put behind her, but that was it. That was your candidate, and she was looking rather good for a while. But the fact is, it's really hard to come back up and put all that together and and separate yourself from Joe Biden, and also to bring in your other cohorts that you need to get the nomination. And that she never had a nomination. She was basically handed this job as presidential candidate by Joe Biden. So timing was very tough, and you know, we feel for her. But the fact is, the Democratic Party is wounded, and it must come together and work hard together to understand what a 50-state political campaign is about, and how we can put up a candidate in 2 to 4 years who will take down this regime, which is Donald Trump, and do it in a way that is appealing to all Americans. And I sound like a candidate myself. Maybe I should give it a shot. But that I won't do it. But that my wife just gave me a look. So, I mean, as you can imagine. But I think that's what needs to be done to the Democratic Party. Because they are, to me, they are the party of Kennedy. They are the party of FDR. And we had great success with our party. I'm speaking as a Democrat now. Sometimes I speak as a plain wonderful American and a person of the world, a citizen of the world. But I think we need to do that for humanity, because we cannot let Donald Trump tear this country apart. So people like Vladimir Putin can gain access to who we are and what we are about.
JCB, thank you very much indeed.
A pleasure.